Drafting with Numott.
Alrighty, here we are, Kenji, Numotthenummy, for another edition of Drafting with Numott, finally with Throne of Eldraine. The new set, the new cards. We have a few new mechanics in the set. Some of them you can see here in this pack. Excuse me, we have some adventures, we have food tokens, we have some other things as well, but I'm not going to go over every card individually too hard, but I will go over the good cards, and Giant Killer is a pretty good card. So what adventures are, they're creatures at all times, but they have this other hidden half mode that you can cast prior to casting the creature mode if you want to. This particular one is pretty good. It acts as a large creature removal spell, and what happens is you can cast the creature as the creature for 1 white here, for example, or you can cast it for its adventure mode for a white and 2. Now, the only way that you can then cast it as a creature if you first cast it as the adventure mode is if the adventure resolves. So, for example, if I cast this on a creature with power 4 or greater, the adventure mode, it kills it, well then that this adventure then goes to exile, where then I can cast it as a normal creature. But, however, for example, say I cast this adventure targeting a creature with power 4 or greater, and then they say bounce their creature in response so that the adventure would fizzle, well then I no longer get to cast that creature. So that's the bare bones of it, but that's how all of the adventures work. If you ever get your adventure countered, you can't cast the creature, etc., etc. But happy to take the Giant Killer here, as it's both a good removal spell on the adventure side and a good tapper on the normal side. Second pick, we have either an Inspiring Veteran or an Oakham Ranger. Knights are a big part in this set. In fact, they come in actually all of the colors, I believe, but red, white, and black, I think, are the most aggro of the Knight colors. I'm going to go ahead and take a really early Inspiring Veteran here, just because when this card goes off, it certainly goes off, and Knights can be very, very good. Wow, we got a second Giant Killer. That's pretty great. That's a good sign that... I mean, even though this one's a foil rare, so, you know, there was another rare that was taken here. It looks like that this is a good route to go on. Other good cards, you'll notice that we've already passed a few of these hybrid cards. They have a bunch of them in this format. I believe all of them are at uncommon, but as you can see, this is just like a 4-mana 5/5. Other good cards in the pack, let's see. We have the Lonesome Unicorn, so it's a 2/2 for the adventure, and then you can just hardcast it as a 3/3 Vigilance. So not bad. Tempting Witch is very good. I think the green-black food deck, there is a food deck after all, is highly, highly valuable, highly, highly powerful. But here I think we're going to go ahead and just take the, second Giant Killer, as that seems great. Follow that up with perhaps an Ogre Errant, another pretty nice Ogre, Knight, all things considered. 4-mana 3/4 Knight, so it has that relevant creature type, but then it also makes it hard for your opponents to block another Knight that you have. Other good cards in this pack are the Tome Raider, Malevolent Noble, Giant Opportunity for the food deck. Some of the archetypes in this format I'll just go over real quick. You have your Knight decks, you have like blue-red Draw 2. Draw 2 is a theme in blue-red. You have the green-black food deck I was talking about. You have green-white adventures, yada, yada, yada. But looks like we're going down the Knight path right now. And for our 5th pick, we have a few other good options as well. Flutterfox is just a very, very solid 2-drop. It's a 2/2 for 2, but then if you control an artifact or enchantment, it has flying. And there are a decent number of artifacts and enchantments in this format. The most common, of course, are going to be those food tokens I had mentioned earlier. Another good card in this pack is Spinning Wheel. Overall, this format is pretty slow. Most decks are going to have access to some food production, and the foods are just artifact that you can tap 2 mana, sacrifice it, and gain 3 life. So a lot of the times, aggro is not necessarily the route to go. So I think this is an interesting decision that I'm making here, going down white, or rather Knights. But we keep getting good cards like Glass Casket, very, very good removal spell. We've seen a lot of these type of removal spells before in recent memory. Most recently, I think, like Baffling End, for example. But, just very solid removal spell. Passing a Prized Griffin. There's a cycle of all these type of lands where they are a basic type. They are the plains, the mountains, the islands, whatever, so on and so forth. But they give you an extra bonus should you already have a bunch of those types already on the battlefield. But Glass Casket's an easy pickup here for us. We can take the Ardenvale Paladin. Oh, Adamant is another mechanic from this new set that I forgot to mention. Adamant just means if you pay, X amount of a specific color of mana for a spell, it comes in with an extra bonus. So for this one specifically, if I use at least 3 white mana to cast it, it would enter as a 3/6. Another Prize Griffin in the pack as well, but I think I'm going to go with the Knight. Keep going with the synergy for now. I think white for sure is open. Red, we're not so sure quite yet. We could still go down a different route, but I think this is a pretty good start overall. I don't know how we got 2 giant killers. I mean, obviously I opened one, but getting past a giant killer is kind of interesting as, even if your opponent doesn't have any creatures with power 4 or greater in their deck, you just cast this as a 1 mana tapper. Like, tappers in Limited are very, very good. Okay, next pick we have, nothing really good in red or white, so I might stay open here and take like the Garenbrig Squire. We already have 2 adventure creatures anyways, so we could be like the green-white adventure deck too. Skullknocker Ogre I'm not very big on, and Bartered Cow, while a fine filler card, doesn't really seem like it wants to be in our deck right now. So let's stay open, let's take the Squire, and let's see if we can continue. So far it's been a pretty fun set. Again, this format has seemed slower than most, just because of all the foods. Speaking of foods, you'll find other foods in this format as well. Gingerbread, you can see, is a food golem. So this does have synergy with, cards that can sacrifice a food or whatnot. Here I'm looking at like Curious Pair for the green-white adventure deck, or I could just take like Weapon Rack, which is fine if I end up getting, some more Flutter Foxes. This is the inverse Serrated Arrows, if you guys remember that card. But yeah, we're fine taking the Weapon Rack and see what happens here. Okay, another curious Pair, rather. Wheeling is not too shabby. The only thing is I don't really want them in the green-white adventure deck. Like, this is more for the green-black food deck, not for the green-white adventure deck. So I think we'll just go with the Silver Flame Ritual here. Another Adamant card that has good value. It's a pretty late into the story. This card can just turn into an opportunity later in the game. Beloved Princess, not really a thing. I guess I'll go ahead and take the Fling, but not sure if any of those cards were something that I really want. Ooh, and the Giant Opportunity Wheeling. Okay, and maybe it's possible I'm supposed to be in the food deck, because Giant Opportunity, I think, is a good card, and seeing it that late is certainly some kind of signal. And then we wheel some last pick junk. Really don't want to be playing a 3/2 for 3, even though it does have a relevant creature type of Knight. Yeah, still very, very open here. Not quite sure what we're doing. Open to Fabled Passage, which is a nice one. This is worth some amount of money, but I think I'm just going to go for the safe, or the good picks, the good draft picks. And Mysterious Pathlighter is one of those very, very good ones. 3 mana 2/2, Windrake, quote-unquote Windrake in Limited. But this has a very, very large upside. Each creature you control that has an adventure enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter. So if you cast any creature with an adventure, it just enters, with that extra bonus boost. I do have 2 giant killers right now, so they would enter as 2/3s, for example. You can see like Fairy Vandal that goes into the Draw 2 deck. Another good one. Trapped in a Tower. An Arrest for non-flying creatures, and very good one as well, but I'm happy to take the Pathlighter and see where we go from there. All right, a nice pack here for us, as we have the option between a Slaying Fire, which is just a great rate removal spell that can go face, if you need to push in the last few points of damage, or we have an Opportunistic Dragon, which is just another very, very nice one. We're going to go ahead and take the Dragon here. 4/3 flyer for 4 in Limited, already very, very good. And this has just a great ability attached to it. It's basically a removal spell a lot of the time. It's kind of like an O-ring on a 4/3 creature. Most decks are going to have some number of humans, and if not, then at least you can steal like a food token or something. So the flyer looks great. Okay, let's take the Scorching Dragon Fire here. Just very, very solid removal spell. Red Cap Raiders is good. I love all these golden eggs. I love the food deck, for example, but just got to take the good removal here. Yeah, and it looks like we're solidifying ourselves into a red-white knight deck for sure. I want to lower my curve. Here's a pretty good one as well, Shepherd of the Flock. It's a 3/1 for 2. It's not a knight, but it does have a pretty nice adventure mode equipped to it, which is return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. So you can save, a permanent, or you can rebuy some value on like a giant killer or something, as well as then getting a 3/1 later in the game. This is just, by the way, this has got to be one of the best commons in the set. Look at this, 4 mana, 4/4 Trampler. When it enters, create a food token. That's a common. Think about that. Other picks in the pack for us, Weasel Cap, Red Cap, and a Youthful Knight. But I'm going to take the Flock. And let's take the Raging Red Cap here. This really wants you to find some pump effects, but a 1/2 double striking Knight is not too bad. And still pretty early, and I do have 2 pump effects already, the Ritual and the Veteran, so don't mind taking that. There's a Lonesome Unicorn, that's perfect. Just great value, and it can make a knight. Plus, we already have the Pathlighter for adventure. Good pickup. Another really solid pickup here. Looks like that red-blue draw 2 deck, though, was pretty open, because this is one of the better uncommons for that deck, the Improbable Alliance. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token of flying, and then you can pay 6 to loot. But Shieldbreaker, very good. Again, lots of artifacts in the format, so this oftentimes is just a 2-for-1. You kill an artifact, and then you get to play it as a 2/1. Good value. Okay, here we have 8th pick in the second pack here, and don't think I'm running a second Ritual. True Love's Kiss is actually pretty good, as there are some really powerful enchantments and artifacts that you do want to get rid of. So that would be a good sideboard choice. It's either that or the Idyllic Grange, which is a land that'll just always make my deck, though. So go ahead and take the Idyllic here. Okay, Burning Yard Trainer. Not a terrible one. I'm not a huge fan of this card, but it does find a home in the Knight deck, right? 3/3 Trample, Haste for 5. When it enters, another target Knight you control gets +2/+2 and gains Trample and Haste until end of turn. So not amazing, but fine in a pinch. I don't mind running it as like my lonesome top end card. Cards I'm hoping to cut right now, like Fling, Knight of the Keep, and that's about it. Bargain's a good one. Target attacking creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Each attacking non-human creature gains Trample. Surprisingly, you'll find, and even though I do have a lot of human knights, that a lot of the knights are not humans. So, something to keep note of. Take the Barge. Okay, another land that's not bad. This one is kind of filler, but we already have a weapon rack in the sideboard, so don't mind just taking the Dwarven Mine there. And then last few pickups here in this second pack. Crystal Slipper is interesting. I'm not sure how to rate that card yet. I think it's kind of lackluster, but it's not awful. 2 mana, equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste, and then equip is 1. Again, not sure how to rate this card yet, but this does seem like the deck where I would want it. Ooh, what is this? Robber of the Rich. 2/2 Reach Haste in red is kind of interesting. Whenever it attacks, if defending player has more cards in hand than you, exile the top card of their library. During any turn you attack with a rogue, you may cast that card and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. I mean, I don't actually think this card is like good, but it's fine, right? In limited, 2/2 Reach Haste for 2. That's way above average. It's just that the extra ability is so frequently not going to matter. But yeah, easy pickup here. If there was a better like removal spell in the pack, say there was like a another Scorching Dragonfire, I might even take it over the Robber, but there's nothing here for us, so the Robber it is. Joust is a nice one. There's another Burning Yard Trainer, but that should probably wheel. Fairy Guide Mother, very good as well for helping push in damage, especially on something like the Raging Red Cap. I think I like the Joust a little bit more because it's a solid removal spell too, though. It's a red fight, but if the creature that you're targeting on your side is also a knight, then it pumps up the knight. So I think I like taking the Joust a little bit more than the Fairy Guidemother. Let's do that. Wow, wow, wow. Perfect pack for us now. Jeez. I would just take this whole pack and call it good because we have Fireborn Knight, 4 mana, hybrid red-white, 2/3 double strike, and then it can pump. Another Inspiring Veteran, which is probably going to be my pick. Brimstone Trebuchet. I think this is the first one I've actually seen, which is, obviously good in the Knight deck. Then we have like Outflank as well. Nice pack. Let's just take the Lord, as they call him. Okay, another pretty good pack here for us. This is just the best equipment, but sorry, for the Knight deck. Okay, maybe Embercleave is a little bit better, but still, like this is the dream. Unfortunately, I can't take it because it's red-black and I am playing red-white, but certainly wish we could. For us, we have that Fairy Guidemother, another Ogre Errant, Red Cap Raiders, Outflank, and a Silver Flame Squire. All of the adventure cards are playable to some degree, right? There's just a lot of value. Not only do you have, an adventure mode, you also can cast them as creatures later on. So, what do I want to take here? I think I like the Guidemother a little bit more than the Squire. Neither of them are knights, so I'd rather have the creature that has evasion. As we get potentially another Raging Red Cap. It's probably fine. I think it might be better than Knight of the Keep. And probably better than Fling. Otherwise, I'm taking another Ardenvale Paladin, but it looks like we're heavier red than white right now, so Adamant might not be the easiest thing on that. Yeah, let's just take the 3. Right now we have, let's see, Fairy Guidemother, Barge in Joust, Crystal Slipper, 2 Inspiring Veterans. Any other way to pump up my red caps? Oh, and the Ritual. So, yeah. Oh, and the Burning Yard Trainer. In fact, we have a ton of ways to pump up the red cap. Maybe not continuously except for a few of the cards, but that does seem enough. Okay, another really nice pack here for us. This is the Javier Dominguez card. Red for a 1/1 first strike haste. Whenever it attacks another target attacking knight you control, gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It's good with the red cap. I don't know if it's better than a second Bargain, though. Another Silver Flame Squire, Flutter Fox, Shepherd. Yeah, it just doesn't seem good enough in this deck. I think Bargain's probably the best pick. Jeez. We could have had so many Fairy Guidemothers. Okay, I'll take another. That's fine. And the Brimstone Trebuchet on the... Oh no, this is 8th pick, not even on the wheel. Wow, wow, wow. That's awesome. Perfect for our deck. So maybe now I cut like the Crystal Slipper. I could probably run 16 lands in this deck as well. I guess I'm going to cut Spinning Wheel then if I'm running 16 lands. I like this card a lot more in Sealed anyways, but Draft is not the fastest beast either. But this is probably not the right, or not the most correct deck for the Spinning Wheel. Okay. Let's see, sort by color here. So I'm debating not even running the Mine at this point. I don't think Fortifying Provisions is good either. But maybe a sideboard card. So 18 creatures, 2 Bargain for pumps, Joust as a pump/removal, Casket removal, Ritual for pump. My choice of another Fairy Guidemother or another Burning Yard Trainer. I don't see myself playing either of these. I don't see myself playing a second one of those or a third one of those. Probably not anyways. That second Trebuchet wheeling is really sweet though. And even the Outflank, which, I mean, with the creature density in our deck, this might even be something I play. Wow, our deck really came together there in the last pack. We just got so many goodies. Gonna have to make a few cuts now. At least 2 cuts. I'm thinking about cutting this Ardenvale Paladin for starters. It is big, and it's good with the Inspiring Veterans, but I don't think I need it. I'm pretty sure we want to have all of these non-creature spells, so maybe just cut one more creature. How many knights do we have? Because all of my 1-drops are not knights, but 1, 2, 3, 4... Wait, these aren't even knights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I guess I don't even have as many knights as I thought. So maybe I could cut the trainer. Every time I cut a knight, though, I make my trebuchets a little bit worse, but I still think they're good enough to run, of course. I guess this makes a knight as well, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not as many as I would like, but that does seem fine. Maybe the Shepherd of the Flock's not worth it, then. No, I like it with the double Fairy Guide Mother. Being able to bounce them and then giving something else flying later on seems really solid. Okay, so let's try it like this. I think I like running the Grange, but not the Dwarven Mine. The 1/1 doesn't seem like it's going to be relevant enough, but the 1/1 counter in this deck does seem like it could be. And then we'll just go even chop 7/7. Although we do have 4 1-drops in white, but... yeah, let's try it like this. First recorded draft here for the MTGO Traders YouTube channel of Throne of Eldraine. Let's do some red-white knights. Alrighty, here's game 1 of this Throne of Eldraine draft. We are on the draw with a hand that doesn't have any white, but certainly a keeper, I think. Aha! Opponent on the food deck, and we can already kill their food turn 1 here. Kind of sweet. With our adventure. And as you can see, since our adventure is resolved, these go into exile from where we can now cast them if we choose to. Their 1/3 Curious Pair, though, does beat up on my 2/1, that's for sure. I think I'm just going to go ahead and play out, well, no, we'll just play out our 2/1. We have one of the red caps in our hand, so the Fairy Guide Mother is going to be able to push a ton of damage. I was thinking about not even doing anything this turn, since the 2/1 is not super relevant, but if they don't have anything else to, it holds back the Curious Pair, as they don't want to trade 1 for 2 damage. But I do miss a point of damage with the Trebuchet this way. Oh, a giant opportunity now. Alright, so the opponent's on the green-white food/adventure deck. But we have double Giant Killer now. That card's going to be amazing versus them. Let's just play out our double Striker and pass. It's either that or lead with the Trebuchet. But I think this has the highest upside, because now I can just go like next turn, Guide Mother, the red cap, hit them for 6 double strike damage, and then play the flyer follow-up. Although if they're not playing anything, I might not even want to do that. It might even be better for me to just run out the Trebuchet here instead, and consider just running out the Giant Killer, the one of the Giant Killers. I think that's okay. A card I do have to be cognizant of is, I think it's like Realm Cloaked Giant. It's an adventure card. The adventure mode is 5 mana, destroy all non-giant creatures, and then the creature itself is a 7/7 vigilance for 7, so might not want to overextend too much. It's a mythic, I believe, so it's kind of hard to play around mythics, but as I just have an Ardenvale Tactician, alright, and a Rosethorn Halberd. That's a pretty good draw. Alright, well, let's just go for that. 3/3 double strike flying. They're not going to want to block. But again, this is why aggro in this format feels so bad. My opponent has 9 life in food just sitting on the battlefield, you know? Really, really awkward. Game plan here is to tap down the Tactician with the Giant Killer, ping them for 1. As they are equipping the Halberd. Alright, I mean, that's not going to be very, very good versus my Tapper. Not sure if they realized that that's what that did, but we will accept. Ah, that's pretty good too. Now we can rebuy something if we want to. So, I'm going to just attack in with both. This kind of feels like a waste of outflank, but I mean, I have 2 Giant Killers in my hand, so I don't think using the outflank here is bad. And then they'll take 2, and we're just going to keep passing here. Alright, going to combat. We're going to tap down. Trapped in the tower. That's fine. Alright. I do have another Fairy Guide Mother in the deck, remember, as well. And this enchant creature without flying, it says. So if you ever give a creature enchanted by Trapped in the Tower flying, the Trapped in the Tower falls off. Man, really another nice draw there. We also just have the Shepherd of the Flock to bounce it if we want to as well. But let's attack in. Could almost kill them this turn. Crazy enough. Barge. They're at 4. And I think we're going to play out the 1/1 flyer and just pass the turn. So they're going to have to invest in sacrificing their foods now. They can't really afford to play anything this turn. Oh, that's right. I can't even tap down. Well, I am holding up Shepherd of the Flock, so I think that's good enough. Jousting Dummy, sure. And pass. Seems right. Yep, gain 3. So what I'll go ahead and do here is end of turn, bounce my Giant Killer back to my hand then. And we can just kill their flyer with the adventure mode. Don't even show them the second Giant Killer, and they scoop to it. So if they're scooping there, that very likely tells me that they don't have that Realm Cloak Giant in their deck. Seeing Trapped in the Tower definitely leads me to believe that another Fairy Guide Mother could be worth it too. What I would cut for it, I'm not entirely sure. We're probably fine running it back. I mean, I have 2 Fairy Guide Mothers plus the Shepherd of the Flock anyways, so probably not too entirely necessary. Okay, game 2. 1 lander, not so good. We'll ship that one. And this looks much better. We'll keep. Do I want to get greedy and pitch a land here, or do I just pitch one of the Giant Killers? I'm going to pitch a land. We're on the draw. The Giant Killers buy us so much time anyways. I think this is correct. Like, I only need to draw 1 more land in like the next 3 draw steps, and even if I don't, I still have plays to make. So we'll go ahead and just run out one of the Giant Killers turn 1. Mirror Leaf Rider, sure. Yeah, I'll attack. They're blocking. We'll go ahead and save our dude. Seems worth. No trample since it is a human. And I'm not going to play out the other giant killer, though. I'd rather hold that. Aha! A giant killer of their own. We did draw the land. Beautiful. So I think I can probably bait them here. I think I can probably get some damage in, because I don't think they're going to block with their giant killer now. Oh. Or they do. Well, they bought my bluff. They called my bluff, I should say. The nice thing is, if they had the +3/+3 effect there after blocking, I could adventure my other giant killer to get him really good. There is a good card. Okay. Well, I think we're going to chop that down. And then we are going to kill their food and then attack for 2. And the next turn I can play this as a 3/2 because of the Pathlighter, and I can play this as a 2/3. Pretty nice. Good value. Oh, and they just scooped. I guess they saw enough, because, well, that's match 1. Our deck's working nicely. Let's go to game 2, or round 2. Alrighty, here is game 1 of the second round. On the draw with the 1-lander, so we'll mulligan that. And looks to be a much better next hand, where we'll probably just pitch this Silver Flame. All those other cards seem a lot more relevant, and I'd rather play safe and just keep the land. As our opponent plays a Gingerbrute turn 1. Oh, can I draw that Artifact Destruction guy again? No, not this time. I'm debating whether or not I want to cast that out. I think we're probably better off holding that, because I'm going to be curving out anyways, so I'm not going to be tapping. As they play a Rose Thorn Halberd and immediately hit me for 3. That's kind of a yikes. Alright, but they kept a 1-lander, so... I mean, while they can just, yes, continuously make it so I can't... Oh, they went for the double equip. Oh, now we really get them. We get to giant kill. Oh, that's awesome. I like what they're doing, but they are going to get super punished here by the giant killers. Let's just chop that down now before they can do anything crazy. Yikes. That's great. Man, now they drew land, though. Never lucky. Still have a really good turn ahead of us. I get to go Pathlighter here into cast out our giant killer as a 2/3. And the nice thing about, I mean, that's kind of a wasted removal spell, I think. The nice thing for us is that the static ability still goes off. That is to say, you know, all my other knights would still get +1/+1. Okay, Adversary. Very, very good uncommon. Not very good versus a tapper, but good card nonetheless. We'll just run out our Trebuchet and pass. And what do you got for us? This could be a fight. +1/+1 and fight. I think it's called Outmuscle. Something like that. Kill my giant killer. Yeah, it totally is. Well, we can tap their creature in response, so no big deal there. Ooh, and then the Robber of the Rich. This is not a knight, though, so let's play another Trebuchet. Let's play Robber. Let's hit him for 4. And this rates them really good here. I'm going to let them hit me for 3 and draw a card. Spore Cap Spider. That's got a lot of toughness. Ooh, well there's the Fairy Guide Mother, so I can knock off the Trapped in a Closet here if I want to. That seems like a good plan. Attack with everything. I could have played the Giant Killer. Oh, wow, that didn't even block. I could have played the Giant Killer to get the trigger here. Wait, they didn't block? So they're at 1 on board? Interesting. I guess I just play around them having the Wrath effect? What is going on? I didn't even need to play this out, I guess, because they're just dead on board to the trebuchets without even me attacking. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think there's anything they can have for 1 green mana, but I'll go ahead and chump. No harm. Alright. You know, I keep saying that this is a slow format, but these games are not going very slowly. I think this is one of the better aggro decks that you can have, though. The Knight deck, the red-white Knight deck. The black Knight deck is also very good, but I think this is an outlier of the format. But if you can get it, it is great. You can just pressure people a little bit too fast before they can get their food set up and whatnot. Because food, you have to pay 2 mana to sacrifice the food, so if you can apply enough pressure fast enough, you know, that they have to spend their time sacrificing a food, which means they're not developing out their board. Let's just run it back. Here we are for game 2, round 2. Won the first game. Opponent went all in on the Ginger Brood. I'm going to keep this hand here. It's a little land heavy, but it's got good mana. And I'm going to go ahead and just run out the 1/1 flyer for 1. Just get on the board, start bashing in. Okay, well, can't say back-to-back land was a good start after keeping a 4-lander, but that's okay. At least we have 1-drop, 2-drop. And even if they play Spider here, I can barge in the Shepherd to attack into it. Yep, there it is. Not a bad draw. Doesn't pump up any of my other creatures, but this is pretty telling of what I have, I think. But I don't really have an option. I have to try to force through. If opponent just plays like a Witch Stalker here, we're in such bad shape. Whatever the 4/4. 4/4 trample for 4 that makes them the food. Oh, even worse. The 3/3 fight. Alright, that's good. And a land. Boo. 3 lands, 1 spell. Keeping a 4-lander. Not ideal in our aggro deck. Alright, now it's a 5/4 wolf. Oh man, can I draw one of my giant killers? Please? That'd be amazing. Trapped in the Closet. Follow up. Okay. Or Trapped in the Closet. I got a little R. Kelly on the mind, apparently. Yeah, let's just attack for 1 and pass. Outflank not so good here. Oh no! They have an outflank themselves, which makes my outflank even worse. Yeah, we just need to draw one of our giant killers. Last card in their hand is a 3/4 flyer. Unfortunately, that's not going to do it either. So what I'm probably going to have to do here is block the flyer, outflank it, and trade. Or actually, I guess I'd rather trade here. Because they're going to equip their halberd likely to their griffin, I would think. If they don't have a better play. Alright, let's draw a giant killer. Boom, baby! And we want to just do this now. Reason is we get to hardcast as the tapper. That was really good. And no plays. All right, top deck battle. Let's go. I'm coming in there for one. I'm going to hold this other giant killer in case they draw removal. Wow, they just exiled their own enchantment to draw a card. Or artifact. Okay, a 1/1 flyer. Whoo-hoo, Robber of the Rich. Well, so now what I think I'm going to do is cast out and Robber, because they have one card in hand, so now I get to potentially get some extra value here. Yeah, we hit another creature to cast out too. Perfect. All right, this is working. And now they get super punished if they have like another land in their hand that they held on to. Because then I get to Robber again. Oh, yeah. So I got to make sure I play this pre-combat, though. And then let's attack with all. Looks like a land got exiled this time, but still hit him for 5. Pretty nice. Some bad draw steps into some ideal draw steps just happened. And another pass from the opponent, so I don't even need to play anything here. Just go to combat. See if we steal anything good. Oh, we did! We stole a Fairy Guidemother, so I can give this flying, knock off the trapped in the tower, if that are not just dead here. Fell the Peasant. Ah, okay, so they get to make a food token and gain 3 life. Pretty funny. Okay, they're not technically dead. So we'll just wait. Oh, is that until end of turn? Oh, it's just any turn I attacked the rogue, so I would have to attack with the rogue again next turn. Never mind, so I should have cast the Fairy Guidemother. It's not like permanent. All right, but we're quickly 2-0. Let's go to the finals. Here we are for the finals. And we're on the draw, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. Might just play out the Fairy Guidemother turn 1, depending on what I draw here. Yeah. Just start getting in for 1 damage. Even though we have the Pathlighter in our hand, I think this is fine. Let's hope they don't have the 1/2. Oh, they do have the 1/2. And I get wrecked. That's unfortunate. To a Queen of Ice. Okay. Let's just play out the 2/2 flyer. Obviously hoping to draw a mountain next turn. Every deck that every deck that I've gone 3-0 with thus far has been a heavy blue deck, so let's see if they yeah, it looks like they are in fact mono blue. It's kind of gross. Yeah, we have to go for an attack here. We're not blocking anyways. Bargain is only on attackers. So we'll hit them for 2, and then let's run out the Ogre Errant. There are a bunch of quad blue multicolored cards as well. That land was a good draw. Can make our Pathfinder a 3/3. Can Casket the Vandal. Can play a Trebuchet. And I think I'm supposed to attack. My deck's a racing deck. We don't mind blocking the Queen of Ice here, because we can just untap our Trebuchet with the Ogre Errant. Comes their Servant, draw a card. Ooh, Giant Killer. What does that do? You know what I can do? I could barge in their flyer and then Giant Kill it, but I think we're just going to run out the Ogre Errant, untap our Trebuchet. Bash for 3 in the air. And then play out the killer. Again, I think we're supposed to try racing them, especially with how many cards they have in their hand still. I'll take my poison, take my 3. They could have any number of tricks, though, is the real problem. Plus, they do have the food on the battlefield for an extra 3 life. All right, 2/4 flyer. Let's ping them for 1. Oh, that's not bad. That's very, very good. That is very, very good. So let's go like this. Let's ritual. Get to attack with everything here. And I can shield breaker their flyer if I need to. Or if their 2/4 blocks my 3/4, for example, I get to barge in. Yeah, if they take 8 damage, they're just gonna die. So they have to make some pretty awkward blocks here, which is super ideal for me. They got to be thinking about the barge in, right? Like, they might want to just throw the Queen of Ice underneath the Ogre Errant to soak up 4 damage and keep it tapped for another turn. I guess if they have a way to draw a card and deal with both my Pathfinder and my Trebuchet, then I will lose. Since I'm at 4. But that seems like such a tall order. And again, if they just block with the Trebuchet, or rather with the Griffin, then I get to barge in and eat it. Yep. All right. So they are going to block like this. Get to barge in here. And we still have a 4/4 and a 2/4 reach. 4/4 flyer and a 2/4 reach for their Arcanist. So we are looking in pretty good shape, even though the opponent has nothing but spells in their hand. I mean, we're looking good on board. Who knows about what else they got going on. Another Griffin. Okay, that's fine. In fact, we just have them dead here. I can ping them for 1 down to 5. I get to kill their artifact. I don't think there's anything they can have for a single blue, so then I would just Giant Killer, tap their Griffin, ping them for 1, and hit them for 4. Woof! This deck is smoking. So mono blue. Mono blue, mono blue. Again, I don't have much in the way of sideboarding. Don't think flings are worth it. So although, you know what? This Lonesome Unicorn looked really bad in the face of everything they're doing. I think I'll try one fling. It's pretty good with all of our pump effects anyways. Let's go to game 2. Okay, game 2 of the finals, once again on the draw. Pretty good hand. Do need to find a white source, obviously, but I can already cast 3 of my cards. And there's the white source. Gonna go ahead and just run out the Giant Killer. We know they do have some 4-power creatures, those 2/4 flyers, but I think I like just doing this and getting aggro. And now we can robber them. And since we've played a card on turn 1 and turn 2, we actually get the trigger. So it's cast only, not play, so I can't hit lands. But that means any turn that I attack with the robber now, I will be able to cast the turn into a pumpkin, so it's pretty good. Opponent opting here to make their Vandal a 2/3. I'm going to go ahead and Scorching Dragonfire that most likely. I don't even know if they can attack here. It's pretty risky. Oh, Frogify, I see. Okay. Turn my killer into a smaller doo-doo. It's Dragonfire. And I guess I don't get to eat anything this time since they played 2 cards there. Alright, Arcanists, Owl. And they did hit a Mantle of Tides. So this is not a knight. But I will attack in. Make it awkward for them to block. Alright, we will use the barge in. We will deal 1... Or no damage, it's a human. And then we get to play Inspiring Captain post-combat. Pretty sweet here is, if I ever just draw a 4th land, I can attack and then immediately turn into a pumpkin their blocker. Oh god, if they play a 2/4 here, I get to joust it. That'd be insane. Well, that's going to become a 4/4. Darn it. Does that work? That almost works. God, I just need to draw 1 land. Because this is a fight effect. Bunch of different plays I can make here. Just need 1 land though. I'm wondering if I should just 2-for-1 myself and then bash in, but I think we'll just play the Trebuchet and pass. I think we basically just insta-win there if I draw a land. But now we've probably given them a chance. Alright, there's the 2/4. So now we can make some pretty sick lines. We did draw the land. So I'm going to go for the Joust here. And then I'm going to go for the Gift. Actually, do I want to fling? I kind of want to fling, but I guess we'll just attack for 4 and see if they block. I'm happy to make this trade, because then, again, next turn I get to make the robber play of attacking and then turning into a pumpkin something, which is a very big reason why they might just block here this turn. All right, and if they don't, I am happy to fling it at them. Clockwork Servant, yes. If they don't play another thing here, then we get to, darn. Oh, 2 cards in hand, perfect. So if we can, like, draw a land next turn, we can get another robber trigger here. Darn it. Okay, so I think attack with both is the play here, and then we can turn into a pumpkin. And pass turn. With the double Brimstone Trebuchet, we're going to be killing them really, really quickly. I mean, obviously bouncing a card that draws them a card. Bouncing the creature that draws them a card, slightly awkward, but I think it's correct play. And if they don't play another flyer here, then we just get a Fairy Guide Mother them for 4. So ping them for 1, end of turn. Yep, let's cast it. Attack for 4 in the air, or attempt to anyways. Oh, I should have played my Inspiring Veteran pre-combat so that Robber would have triggered again. This was a mistake. Yeah, darn it, this was a mistake. I just lost out on a lot of value. Because now I'm going to end up pinging here, playing a 2/2, and I would have eaten one of the extra cards off the Robber, so it might have given me extra spell. It's kind of awkward. I mean, it's probably not going to matter because of how far ahead we are. With the double Trebuchet, but I should probably slow down. Slow down and think, Kenji. Yes, dragon's good. Alright, ping them for 1 end of turn. Just play another Trebuchet and leave them dead the following turn. Alright, and they scooped it. Also, I tapped terribly. I couldn't even cast my Guide Mother, but our deck was very, very cool. Again, I don't think this is something you're going to see super frequently. When it comes together, obviously, it's going to be great, but I think this format as a whole is generally a little bit slower, but if there is an aggro deck, this is one of them. Some combination, I think, of like red, white, and black are going to be the aggro decks of the format. And then blue and green really lends to a longer game plan, from what I found anyways. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Really glad that this deck ran out so well. I mean, we had some very insane draws, obviously, but the deck was, you know, had a straight game plan and a lot of good cards, and it just ran together perfectly. So hopefully you enjoyed that first draft of Throne of Eldraine. Plenty of more of these to come. And yeah, don't forget to check out all of my other videos here on the MTGO Traders channel. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.